Have you ever stopped to consider the human cost of conflict? Today we delve into the heart of the Israel-Gaza conflict, bringing you stories untold. In recent times, the Israel-Gaza conflict has escalated dramatically, with violence reaching levels unseen in years. This conflict, rooted in political and territorial disputes, has led to significant loss of life and widespread devastation. At the very heart of these tensions are the people of Israel and Gaza, whose lives are continually disrupted by the ebb and flow of aggression. In May of 2021, the situation intensified when Israel targeted and killed a Hamas commander. In retaliation, Palestinian militants launched rockets into Israel, leading to the death of at least 65 people in Gaza and 6 in Israel. As the violence spiraled, attempts to negotiate a truce were unsuccessful, leading to further casualties and sparking protests within Israel. Fast forward to August of the following year, the conflict took another twist. Israel claimed that misfiring rockets from the Palestinian side had caused casualties in Gaza. A fifth of the rockets fired towards Israel were said to have failed, landing in Gaza instead. Hamas and Islamic Jihad rejected these claims, attributing all deaths in Gaza to Israeli actions. But amidst this ongoing conflict, there are allegations of atrocities committed by Hamas that are often overlooked. On October 7th, reports emerged of women being subjected to horrific abuses by Hamas. These allegations, if proven true, add another grim dimension to the human toll of this conflict. As we delve deeper into these allegations, we'll be examining testimonies, evidence, and the responses of the international community. But as we peel back the layers of this complex issue, let's remember the individuals who bear the brunt of these conflicts. Behind every statistic is a human story. Now listen to the voices that seldom make it to the headlines. Our focus today is the chilling events of October 7th. In the midst of the Israel-Gaza conflict, amidst the smoke and rubble, are tales that tug at our collective conscience. Stories of women who claim to have been victims of unthinkable atrocities by Hamas. Consider the testimony of a woman we'll refer to as A. She speaks of the day that turned her life upside down. The day when she was allegedly violated by members of Hamas. Her voice trembles as she recounts her ordeal, her words echoing the anguish of countless others who remain silent. Then there's B, another brave soul who mustered the courage to share her story. She tells us of the terror that descended upon her home, of the men who claimed to fight for liberation but ended up becoming oppressors themselves. But it's not just the victims who are speaking out. We have expert opinions as well, voices that lend weight to these testimonies. Human rights activists, scholars familiar with the conflict, they all express their concern over these allegations. They speak of the urgent need for an independent investigation, for justice to be served. For instance, a renowned human rights activist points out the stark contrast between Hamas's claim to be a resistance movement and the allegations of abuse against them. A scholar, well-versed in the Israel-Gaza conflict, emphasizes the importance of holding all parties accountable, of not letting such grave allegations get lost in the tumult of conflict. These voices, raw and resonant, paint a picture of grim realities often overlooked. They remind us that behind the numbers, the politics, the rhetoric, there are real people, real lives irrevocably altered. They demand our attention, our empathy, and most importantly, our action. These voices, raw and resonant, paint a picture of grim realities often overlooked. The reverberations of these events echo far beyond the immediate victims. So, what does this mean for the Israel-Gaza conflict and the world's response? The allegations, if proven true, could drastically influence the perception of the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict. They might intensify the scrutiny on the actions of Hamas and potentially shift the balance of international opinion. This underscores the complexity of the situation, where the battle is not just fought with rockets and airstrikes but also with narratives and perceptions. The international community, too, has a vital role to play. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations has already called for an investigation into civilian casualties. This comes as part of a broader push for a more comprehensive understanding of the situation on the ground. Such inquiries are crucial in establishing a clear picture of the realities faced by those in the conflict zone. However, these investigations take time, and in the interim, the conflict continues. The ongoing violence serves as a grim reminder that the quest for peace in the region remains fraught with challenges. While the allegations against Hamas add another layer to the conflict, they also highlight the importance of truth and accountability in the pursuit of justice. The world watches and waits, as the quest for truth and justice continues. Knowledge is the first step towards change, and you, dear viewers, have a role to play. Being aware, understanding the complexities of the Israel-Gaza conflict is not just about reading headlines. It's about diving deeper, engaging with credible news sources like Reuters, BBC, or Al Jazeera. It's about lending a sympathetic ear to the narratives of those affected. Perhaps support can be extended through humanitarian organizations. Remember, your voice matters. Stay informed, stay engaged, and together we can hope for a world where such atrocities are a thing of the past.